Everybody, and welcome back. Today we're doing another Unbound Worlds Apart thumbnail sketch video for the gaming channel Potato, Potahto, and this one would be episode 6, I believe. Last one was episode 4 or 5. I've been kind of uploading these out of order, but here you can see me doing my thumbnail sketch, trying to work out the composition, and trying to figure out how I want things to look. Um, you'll see the little guy. He's going to be dangling from a platform that's in the video game itself. It was a pretty rough episode, I guess you would call it, where there was a total of 58 deaths in this one area. It was brutal, absolutely brutal. And this thumbnail is kind of a tongue-in-cheek image of kind of what he went through, just showing the real struggle. And I find it's important for me to relate these images to certain situations that happen within the game itself. That way it adds some cohesiveness to the video itself. And I don't know, I find it interesting as well. It makes for like a perfect little image for the actual scenario that our little potato hero gets caught up in here. And you can see I'm just going through and doing my bigger sketch here, and you'll see that eye on top there would be his right eye, his physical right eye, the image left eye. I made a quick change there. I did like how it looked more in the beginning stage, but to actually show his concern more, to give more expression to the face, I decided to make the eye bigger, so you could see he's focused much more down on those spikes on the bottom than the previous one was showing. And here you can see me going through, and this platform that he's actually hanging from is an ice platform that breaks as you're making your way through the game, so you have very limited amount of time that you can spend on this block. And that's one of the reasons why my character died so many times, and for other various reasons. Which is, I did a fairly quick montage on my gaming channel, just showing the many deaths. And here you can see me just blocking out shades, kind of the value changes, so that I can try to get more of an ice looking reflective surface on here. It works a lot more when you see it with the colors, the shades and everything here. Basically, just symbols for me when I actually start doing the real work. Here I'm going through and I'm kind of working on these. They're like organic teeth, is the best way to describe it. They're little spikes that stick out of the ground, and when the character falls on them, of course, he dies, and you kind of have to start over in whatever area you're at. But I thought they were really interesting. Of course, this game itself is a very bizarre and beautiful and interesting game, and I'm just going through. I have a reference image, and I'm kind of referencing their image, but sort of doing my own thing at the same time. Their spikes are a bit different. Probably look nicer than mine. They get paid the big bucks for doing what they do, and I'm just doing quick thumbnail sketches for my videos here on YouTube, and just trying to capture the essence of what my character was going through. Here I am switching it up, putting it back into Krita, and we're gonna work through here, do some quick outlines in ink so I can start putting in my collars. And at first I was kind of happy with the expression on my guy's face here, but towards the end I wasn't too sure about the little cringy, teeth gritting here. But I decided to go ahead and go for it, given the limited amount of time that I had to work on this. In the future, this is going to be one of those things I can learn from and do better. Expressions and colors are definitely areas that I need to spend more time in. I love line art. It's a bit different when you're doing it digitally. Like, I don't feel like I have as much control over the line art as I do in the traditional scheme, where you're working with actual physical paper and pens or pencils, whatever you got. And I don't know, it just feels a bit different, and I can't get my lines as exact as I would typically like. But I do love line work That's one of the main reasons that I do so much of it in these videos, which I think is pretty typical in a lot of YouTube thumbnails anyways. There are other things that I can do. I'm going to work more on collars, of course, and collar theory itself. There are some really good artists out there that have some books on collar theory and the things that they do, and it's constantly changing and evolving, and it ultimately boils down to the artist. If you want something to look a certain way, that's just what you're going to do. You're not going to be too concerned about what somebody else has to say about your artwork. Of course, you want people to like it. You don't want people to tell you you're horrible or anything like that. But, at the same time, you're going to do what you want to do. And then if people have constructive advice, it's usually a good idea to take it. And those spikes down there were really fun. It's a really fun element for me for this video. And you'll see they come along pretty well towards the end. And here I am just using my selection tool once again. That way I can color in all his red outfit, his cape and his hat and his hands and his little feet there. It makes it a lot quicker for me. And later on I can just select that if I want to, to add highlights and shadows. And here you'll see I do something a bit different. I start to do the details of these teeth, and then I'm like, it's going to take too long. So I do big sections. I just hurry up and add the big sections. And then I zoom in right here, and then I just do little parts of the detailed sections. That way I can stay within my lines, and I don't have to worry too much about fixing any spots I may have missed. And you see there, I actually got rid of a little space that shouldn't have been involved in those little details. And boom, just like that, I can come through with a big brush and start laying in a bunch of color. And here I went with red and green. They're actually complementary colors. And I think that's the way it was. Like in the actual video game, I do have a reference image up, and you can see in the reference image that it is green and red. They probably do that stuff on purpose. They have a very nice color palette within this game. They do a very good job with color and design. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm trying to piggyback off of them a little bit, which is a pretty good idea as an artist. You want to learn from other people, especially when it comes to areas that you're weak in. Like for me, is my collars and stuff like that. Mostly just I'm working on my collars. I'm trying to get better with them, make them more interesting. Here I am doing some more flat collar work. Actually, I just went ahead and finished that. I mean, it's just a simple little thing, but I got all my flat colors in, so now I'm going to start going in and working on my shadows and my details. Right here, I'm just going to try to make this look a little more like ice, which by the end of it, you'll see, I think I did a pretty decent job. I did have the reference material to look at to kind of wing it, I didn't follow anything exact, but I'm just going through trying to do the best that I can with the amount of time that I have and with the amount of skill that I have for stuff like this. But as a thumbnail, I think it actually turned out pretty good. And I like the highlight, it all connects the potato character and this platform together, because these platforms are like made of ice, and they break if you stand on them too long. So it's nice to add all those little jagged, broken looking pieces, which they do really well in the game. Just going through, see as you zoom out, it looks pretty decent. I think to me it conveys the feeling of ice, or at least glass, something that's not very strong. Now I'm going in here, just throwing in some shadows real quick. Gonna add my highlights, make it look a little sketchy, add some texture, because he is a little potato. And potatoes aren't exactly smooth or glossy, so you want a little bit of roughness. Going in, doing the shadows in the eyes, add a little bit of realism. You'll notice at first I went in with a hard brush, and then I went in with a soft brush for like the smoother transitions there. With this cape, I usually always just kind of go with the hard light, like an over and above head kind of harder light. Just wrapping this was a pretty quick image for me. It didn't take very long. I knew almost exactly what I wanted as soon as I got finished with editing the gameplay video or gameplay footage. I knew almost exactly what I wanted. The images just kind of pop in my head. I didn't really have to do a lot of work. Granted, a lot of people tell you that I took the lazy way out. You should still do a ton of thumbnails, but I don't have that kind of time, so I do what I can with what I've got. And to me, I'm not that concerned with perfection. I do get a little overcritical of my own details, but perfection, perfection and being a little critical about my stuff is like different categories for me. You see, I had some weird effects going on with this brush. It should be a very opaque brush, but it was behaving oddly. I don't know. I must have had something weird on a layer above that was kind of messing with it. But as I go along, I'm gonna keep learning more about color theory, and I'll definitely tell you guys what I learned here. And maybe I hope this is helping some people or just entertaining anybody who wants to stop by. Maybe you actually like this game too, and you just want to see some artwork. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm just here to entertain and kind of inform. And if you guys have any questions about anything, like I state in my other videos, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer what I can. Oh, and here you can see me adding more details to these little organic, creepy little teeth. I really like the way this turned out. As an artist, when you're doing drawings, you have certain things about your drawing that maybe you're a little unsure of and turn out a lot better than you expected. And to me, personally, these teeth and these things actually turned out pretty good. I'm adding all the little details and stuff here. And you'll see me add some more color here in just a second. Oh, and some like little sketchy lines and whatnot, which that weird thing that was happening with my opaque brush actually helped me out quite a bit here. It added some added detail and dimension to this image that I don't think I otherwise would have got. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you guys are learning something from this. I know I say a lot, and I apologize for that, but I'm kind of just thinking on the fly. But at the end of the day, if you guys enjoyed this, I would appreciate a like. Definitely some comments. Let me know what you think, what I can improve, what you like, what I can do better, and I'll do my best. But for now, even think about subscribing, because I'm going to plan on doing a whole lot more of these. We'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day, I hope everybody had a fantastic time, and thanks for stopping by. Take care. Bye-bye.